Yo, what's up YouTube? Notice anything about this vehicle? That's right, temperature gauge is reading high. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect to this using the Matco Tools MaxLite A. This is the first generation of the tool. Don't have anything subscribed or any kind of subscription to any vehicle specific manufacturer, but we're still using this as a code reader and to check live data. And so we're going to go ahead and connect to this right here. The speed of this scanner is actually pretty quick for the most part, at least from what I'm used to using. Okay, now that we've got the thing connected, we're going to pick what module we want to scan. We're going to go with the ECM so we can pull the codes. Once this gets connected, we will see what kind of pending or active codes we have in the system. I'm going to assume we have something for over temp or coolant temp. Alright, let's see what loads up at this point. We're going to read the fault codes. And here we go. We got a P0117, just as I suspected. Voltage low due to high reading of the coolant temp. Nothing out of the normal. Nothing else pending. Alright, now that we got that code pulled up, we're going to go ahead and check some live data on this and see if we got accurate readings on the sensor itself. So let's scroll through here and see if we could find what we need. This section gives you quite a bit of information. You can also pull up graphs on each sensor if you would like to get a good reading. And I'm not sure what the full subscription has, but we're going to go ahead and pick engine coolant temp voltage, and go from there. So it looks like we got 251 degrees. This thing's getting pretty hot. And voltage at 0.43. So that should drop down as temperature rises. And you can see we're getting pretty high up there on the gauge there. So, all right, first things first, I'm gonna check the coolant level. Seems to be very low and sounds like my stomach after I ate Taco Bell. So I'm not gonna open that right now. We're gonna let it settle. Now I'm gonna go get my pressure tester. We're gonna pressure test this thing for leaks. Pressure tester I'm gonna be using is a hand pump one by Snap-on. Part number is right there on the box. This is a reliable tool in checking for external or internal leaks. Clearly we got a leak. It sounds like my ass. I'm gonna search for this leak here. Sounds a lot like it's coming from this oil filter housing, which I believe is the oil cooler underneath this intake manifold here. And the light I'm using is actually the Search Point Amigo by Maxeon. So check it out. If you look right here in between the oil filter housing and the intake manifold there, right in the valley, you'll see that there's a coolant leak. You can see the puddle of green coolant sitting in there, which is obvious that we have a external coolant leak. I'm worried about an internal coolant leak, so I'm checking the oil cap for any residue of coolant in there, as well as checking the combustion gases in the cooling system to make sure that we don't have a head gasket cracked due to running this thing at very high temps. Once we confirm that we're good there, we're good to order up the oil filter housing, which includes the oil cooler as a one assembly, and start with that repair. This is a perfect time to also replace the spark plugs because you have to remove the intake manifold, which covers the driver's side bank, which you can normally not access the spark plugs on a regular basis with that in the way. And as we move forward with the repair, just pay attention to the things that I'm pointing at with my fingers. Those are key things that you're going to have to look for to remove in order to get the intake off, as well as the rest of the stuff needed to do this job. Behind this intake manifold, there is a bracket that holds this thing up, and there is a very difficult nut to remove. I'm going to zoom in the best I can so you can see what I'm talking about. It's a stud with a nut on it, and it's got a plastic clip that's over the stud. And once you get that intake manifold off, you now have access to all the coil packs. And like I mentioned before, this is a great time to replace the spark plugs if you're due or haven't done so already. You're going to want to drain all the coolant out. If it's old coolant, recommend replacing it. If not, reuse it if you can. But make sure that the oil cooler hasn't internally failed before you decide to reuse the coolant. And once you get the lower part of the intake manifold off, you will now have access to the oil cooler, oil filter assembly. And as you can see here, that's where that puddle of coolant was building up. It's a good practice to cover up your intake ports with some towels, that way you don't accidentally drop some nuts or tools in there. And also make sure that these little O-ring seals do not stick onto the engine itself. Make sure they come off, because you don't want to double stack them. You will have a leak. And the assembly part is pretty straightforward. It's reverse of removal. Make sure you torque everything down to factory specs, not very hard to find online. Make sure you replace all those intake manifold gaskets as well. They're little rubber seals. And since I was already replacing the coolant with fresh coolant, I went ahead and did the thermostat as well. As everything is going back together, double check your work. And this is a good time to start the engine, get it up to operating temp, and double check for leaks. As you can see, this thing is dry, no more coolant leaks. You're going to want to pull your codes as well. You should have no active codes, and vehicle is good to go. If you enjoyed this kind of video, let me know in the comments below, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.